Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sam. Today's video is going to be all about my journey, changing careers, and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, what I'm passionate about. I know that this is a topic that a lot of people can relate to, so I just wanted to share my experience and my thoughts on this topic, and hopefully this will help inspire you or motivate you in some way. So just to give a little backstory, I always was an honor roll student. I always did really well in school, and I remember from a very early age always being fascinated with hair and makeup and the beauty field in general. Anytime I ever would be in a salon, I just loved the atmosphere. I just felt like, you know, this is like where I belong. I totally could see myself working in a salon, doing hair. But because I was always an academic person, you know, there's those stereotypes that people who do hair aren't smart, or, you know, they're just high school dropouts, or it's not like a real career. It's not a stable, steady thing. You can't be successful and make a lot of money doing that. So even though I loved it and knew that that was something that I was interested in and wanted to do, I never seriously considered it as a career choice because I just thought, I'm too smart for that. I'm too good for that. So all through high school, especially if you are someone who gets good grades, all your teachers and guidance counselors, they all just push you to go to college. Like that's just automatically the next step. For me, I didn't even consider anything else, honestly. I was just like, well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to college. I don't know for what, but I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get a job. So I did end up going to college. I chose communications as my major. Had no idea what I really wanted to do with my life. I was very all over the place, but I did know that a lot of my interests were in journalism and media production and PR and advertising and just like all of those kinds of things. So communications was just basically like an umbrella field. So I thought, perfect, I'll just pick that because I know like that's the direction I want to go in, and I'll just figure it out as I go along. My first week of school, I want to say, I was calling my mom in tears saying that I didn't want to be there and I just felt like college wasn't for me. And don't get me wrong, I did well. I was on the dean's list, like I was getting A's in all my classes. It's not like I was struggling. I just didn't want to be there. I just kind of felt like I was wasting my time, and I just felt very confused because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just feel like college is really pushed on people a lot, and a lot of people think that that's just like the safe route to take. But the reality is that college nowadays is not as big of a deal as it once was. And what I mean by that is it's a lot more common for people to have college degrees nowadays. So even after you graduate, it's not like there's just a guarantee that you're going to get hired and get a job really easily. There's a lot of people that go to college, graduate, and then struggle to find a job and end up just moving back home with their parents and like working fast food or something like that. I just think that when our parents and grandparents were younger, a college degree was held at a higher regard, whereas now a regular bachelor's degree is almost the equivalent of a high school diploma, just with a much higher price tag. And it's just really frustrating to me that they push us at such a young age, like straight out of high school. We have to decide what we want to do for the rest of our lives. When you have just been living with your parents and going to school, you have not entered the real world yet at this point. How are you supposed to know what you want to do with the rest of your life? So, you know, you might get pushed in the direction of going to college, and then it turns out that what you want to do doesn't even require a college degree, or whatever you studied is not what you want to do. And then it's like you spent all of that time and money for nothing. I thought that like going to college was this great thing and oh, you know, super smart people go to college. Meanwhile, I went to college and only maybe like 20% of the classes that I had to take actually were related to my major. The rest of them were just bullshit, like general studies courses, different kinds of electives that had nothing to do with my major. I don't feel like any of the classes that I took really made me any more prepared or qualified for a job. Like once I graduated, cool, I had this piece of paper that said that I'm college educated, but I wasn't any more prepared than somebody without a degree. My degree really didn't mean anything at the end of the day. And of course, obviously it depends, like if you're going to be a doctor or something, obviously that's a different story. So then like the end of my junior year, beginning of senior year is actually when I started my YouTube channel. And that's when I really like immersed myself a lot with hair and makeup. And I actually had a moment of realization, which it didn't really register to me at the time. I was doing this girl's hair. She was just like a mutual friend. It was like a whole color correction, and I was doing her hair for like 7 hours straight. And by the time we were finally done, I was like, oh my God, it's like 1 in the morning. We were just doing this for so long. My back hurts, my feet are killing me. But as I was doing her hair, I had no idea what time it was. I had no idea how much time was passing. I wasn't feeling any physical pain. It was only like after I was done that I was like, oh my God. So that happened. And then 1 week randomly in my senior year of college, I had literally 1 semester left till I was completely done. I decided that I wanted to go tour a beauty school. And I went back home, called my mom up, and I was like, hey, I'm dropping out of college and going to cosmetology school. And she was like, are you kidding me? You have literally 1 semester left. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Just finish. Like, you're so close. And I'm glad that I listened to her and I did just finish, because had I just dropped out at that point, it's like all of that time, all of that work I had done, all that money I spent up until that point would have basically went to waste and been for nothing. I graduated, I got my degree, and then I was going through a lot of mental and physical health stuff at the time. So then fast forward like a year later, I had kind of just let like the whole cosmetology school thing sit on the back burner, and I ended up getting a job with my degree as an internet marketer. I was basically just helping manage these different companies' websites and their social media accounts. But a few months into the job, I became miserable. And I don't want to sound whiny or like I'm complaining, because obviously the job that I had was great. There are people that really struggle and have horrible jobs. My job obviously was not horrible, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. Just the structure of a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job, coming in, sitting at a desk, staring at a computer screen all day long. It got to a point where I was constantly checking the time, like literally every 10 minutes. 10 minutes would go by and it felt like an hour, and I would just sit there and just wait till the day was over so I could finally go home. And I remember, again, calling up my mom and just venting to her, and her response to me was, well, yeah, of course you hate it. You're supposed to hate it. It's work. Like, everybody hates their job. And I was like, that's your response? I'm sorry, that's just not acceptable. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Why should I hate my job? The work that you do, your job, your career is such a huge part of your life. So why should you be doing something that makes you so miserable and that you feel so unhappy and so unfulfilled doing every day? Like, I don't want to live the rest of my life waking up every morning dreading going to work and like just living for the weekends. And if I'm already so miserable and hating it now, only a few months in, imagine in a few years how I'm gonna feel. So one day I remember I was at work, sitting at my desk, checking the time again, and I just was thinking to myself, what is something that like gets me really excited? What is something that I could spend hours doing every single day? Remember when I had did that girl's color correction in college, and I had no concept of how much time was passing by? That is my passion. That's what I love. That's what I have drive for. And I struggled for a little bit because, again, I still have that stereotype in the back of my mind of like, that's not a stable, safe career. I'm not gonna be able to make a lot of money doing that. But I just think the more that I was on YouTube and connecting with other people in the beauty industry, it just really started to change my perspective. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make this work for me. And I knew that, yes, there was risk involved in changing careers, because I was gonna be quitting this really good job, even though I wasn't happy there and I didn't want to be doing that. It was a great company to work for. There was gonna be risk in me going to school because in order to be in school full time, I was gonna have to move out of my apartment and move back in with my parents because I didn't have enough money to pay for school and rent and all of my other bills. So I was gonna have to give up my apartment, move, be with my parents again, which I didn't really want to have to do, and then also have a whole nother tuition. I already had student loans that I was paying off from college, so I knew I was gonna have to take out another loan to pay for cosmetology school. And then I was like, well, what if I go and I do this and I end up not liking it? Like, what if it's not what I expected it to be? What if I'm not actually that good at it? Or, you know, I knew that like I was good at doing hair, but I'm also like a more shy, awkward person. So I was like, what if I'm not good at talking to people? What if people don't like me? How am I gonna grow a clientele? Where am I gonna work? I live in a really small town. Am I gonna be able to even do this and make any money doing this? So there was just a lot of risk and a lot going on in my head, and I was scared, but I knew that if I didn't just go for it, I was always going to wonder what if. Because it was something that I had always thought about my whole entire life. And the whole entire time I was in college and all of the years after that, I constantly was thinking about doing hair. So I knew that I was never gonna stop thinking about it. And I was always gonna wonder if that's what I should have done with my life. And I told myself, even if it doesn't work out, at least then I know, and at least I'll have an extra skill, and it's always something that I know I'm gonna wanna do on the side anyway. So it'll be a way I can make a little extra side money at the very least, and then I'll just figure something else out. But I have to just give it a try. So that's what I did. The lease to my apartment ended, I quit my job, I moved back home with my parents, and a couple months later I enrolled in cosmetology school, and let me tell you, it was the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. The first week being there, it's like an indescribable feeling. I had never felt that way before. To just feel like you are finally where you're supposed to be and what you're doing is the right thing, especially after being so lost and so confused for so many years and just not knowing what I was gonna do with my life. To be in that moment and feel like everything was just clicking, like, this is it, Sam. This is where you're supposed to be. So I graduated from beauty school. I went and took my state board test, got my license, and I have now professionally been doing hair for almost a year and a half. So where I work now is a small privately owned salon. It's great. It's only like 10 minutes from my house. It's just me and 2 other women. We all get along so well. I have a full book of clients. I'm super busy. I get to make my own schedule. It's super flexible. I work when I want to work. So on top of obviously loving what I do, I also just love the flexibility of it, and I love that I get to be like in control of my career. I do have a whole entire playlist all dedicated to my cosmetology journey and my career, so I will link that down below. I have a video in that playlist that's titled My First Year as a Hairstylist, I think, and I go into a whole bunch of detail about my first year doing hair, where I've worked, how much money I make, and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to know like more details about being a hairstylist, definitely go check out my playlist. I have all of the information there. I don't want to get into it too much in this video, but at this point now, I am making just as much, if not even more, than what I was making doing marketing. And when I was doing marketing, I was Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, and now I work like closer to 30 hours a week, only 4 days a week, and I'm loving what I'm doing. So, and I just can't even express to you guys how amazing it feels to wake up every morning and to love what you do and to be excited to go to work. I just feel like it's been so good for my mental health. Like, I was so depressed and so anxious all throughout college and the years after, and ever since I started beauty school, I have not had any depression or anxiety at all. Like, my mental health has never been this good. I have never been this happy ever in my life. So I just want to say to those of you out there who are going through something similar and you're just feeling very confused and lost, just follow your gut. Chase after your dreams. Do what you're passionate about. And if you have people around you who aren't being supportive, who think that whatever it is you want to do, even if it's not doing hair, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, if they feel like, you know, that's not a traditional path, or it's not like a stable career, it's not something that they think that you can be successful at, don't let them discourage you. Because for me personally, I feel like I would rather make less money doing something that I love and something that makes me happy than to make a lot of money doing something that makes me miserable and that I hate. As long as you're able to support yourself and your bills are getting paid, who cares, you know? Ultimately, this is your life. It's your career and you need to be happy at the end of the day. And also, I just want to say it's never too late to change careers and to follow your dreams. I've had people comment on my videos telling me that they're in their 40s, some women in their 50s, and they're just starting beauty school now. So it's never too late. You have to just do what's gonna make you happy. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. Like I said, I will have my cosmetology playlist linked in the description of this video. So if you're interested in getting into this field and you just want some more information about it, definitely go check out those videos. And if you have any questions or want any more advice, feel free to reach out in the comments, or you can send me a private message on Instagram, which I will have listed in the description. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would take a second to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.